Hello, hello. Welcome to the Savasana series. Taking time to really release the week, right? So good for you for showing up. So the first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to take some time to just check in on our breath. We know that we're going to take a nice, at least 20 minutes to be able to really let ourselves release. But first, we're going to notice where we are. So I'm going to put the timer on here, and I would like you to count how many breaths you get in 1 minute. So one inhale, exhale is one breath, and then inhale, exhale, 2, inhale, exhale, 3, and so on. So I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute, and I'd like you to count how many breaths are you typically getting in a minute. Remember, this is just your normal everyday breathing. This is not yoga breathing or proper breathing. It's just you at your natural state. All right? So sitting up in a position that's comfy for you, and begin. And pause. How many breaths did you have? Think about that number. So in a calm nervous system, we want 8 to 12 breaths. So we know that if you have between 8 and 12 breaths, chances are you're feeling pretty grounded, pretty relaxed. If you're way up in the teens or 20s, which some people are, you'll notice I'm feeling pretty anxious, or I'm feeling a little agitated. So you want to notice what it is, and that is the way we can bring ourselves down. In the old days, we would count to 10, but today we know that if you just take 8 mindful breaths, 8 mindful breaths, your nervous system will calm down. So start to find that now. So for our Shavasana today, I'd like you to take a position where your body is supported by props. Now, I'm not sure what you have at home, so if you have yoga blocks, you'll grab those. If you don't have yoga blocks, then you can use some big pillows. And I like to use a strap, but if you don't have a strap, then you can use a necktie or a belt or anything like that. You could pause this video and go run get it. And then we're going to need a pillow for our head, okay? And then if you have something that's a little heavy, right, a little heavy, whether it be a blanket or a more heavy pillow or even a meditation cushion, we would need to have that as well, okay? So what we want to do is we want to put our backs of our knees on these blocks. You can decide how you want them. We just want to honor the curves of our body. And we're going to put the strap on the ankles or the shins, and we're going to have them be hip distance apart. That way, instead of me rolling my legs out, I can keep my knees and toes straight up. The reason that we want to keep them neutral is it's so nourishing for our back. Okay, after all the sitting we've done or the standing we've done, so that would be a nice position. Okay, and we're going to come down to our elbows here for a moment. Finding both heels on the ground. Turn the palms down. Press into the thumb side of the hands and press into the heels. And see if you can drag the lower ribs, the lower back ribs out of your back. So we can get that 8 to 12 calming breaths if we start to link up that inhale and exhale to be equal in our length. So finding a rhythm, we call it the Samavriti rhythm, where your inhale and your exhale are the same length, maybe a 4-4 pattern or a 6-6 pattern. And then when you're ready, keep the breathing going. One rib at a time. Slowly, slowly, slowly bring yourself down. Our toes and knees are still looking up. We're not turning those legs out. Our body is in what we would say is right alignment. It's completely neutral. Breathing rhythms, equal inhale, equal exhale. If you're happy here, go ahead and take your arms out wide, palms up if that's what suits you, or down by the sides with palms down. You decide what feels most open and nourishing to your chest, chest muscles in your arms. Those of you who feel a little bit agitated or feel like being still is not really going to be easy, put the heaviness here right at the tops of the thighs, maybe even a little underneath the belly button, really grounding you down. I think it's very soothing. Now walk your shoulder blades in and down, make that pillow right underneath your head, and get it to be just right. So again, we're stacking the heels. They're both pressing down evenly on the ground. We're not leaning on one more than the other. The toes are looking to the sky. The heels are slightly wider apart. The knees are looking to the sky. The pelvis is level. We're not leaning on one side more than the other. It's nice and neutral. If you're using the weight, you can feel the top rim, the top front rim of the pelvis dropping to the floor. Does the rib cage feel balanced? Do you feel like you're evenly dispersing the weight there? Making adjustments as needed. Can you press down into the right shoulder blade and fold and tuck that left shoulder blade in? And then change it, lift into the left shoulder blade, tuck that right shoulder blade in. Just doing the work here so that you feel as balanced and held as you can. Sliding the mind's attention down to the hands. Are you leaning into one hand more than the other? There's freedom under the neck. The nose is looking straight to the sky and the head is being held by a pillow or blanket. Great. Bringing our thumb and our pointer finger together now, Yana Mudra, and just holding them together there if it feels relaxing. And then the palm stays open. It's almost like you have a nice warm rock inside your palm, evenly dispersing weight in the left and the right. Ideally, you will stay in this pose for 20 minutes. And out of that 20 minutes, you might have about 5 minutes of relaxation, right? We don't just relax naturally. It's actually something we have to do. So by giving yourself time, in a position that's nourishing like this one, and then allowing ourselves to really drop in, it'll take us a while. But then we get there, and oh my, is it wonderful. So here we are, we're going to make our physical body perfectly perfectly still, no matter what. You don't need to shift, you don't need to scratch, you don't need to adjust. You get to the point where everything is okay. And then we turn the lens to focus the mind on the chattering thoughts. So going back now to the beginning of our session today, we are watching ourselves breathe. We're slowing it down. Increasing that inhale a little tiny bit. Exhaling a little tiny bit. Inhale, filling up the back body, the side bodies, the front body, all that clean, fresh air. Exhaling like butter in a skillet, letting yourself spread out and feel so incredibly supported by this ground underneath you. Holding you dear, precious, safe. You stretch out the inhale any longer, just a tiny bit longer. How about the exhale? Can that be opened up just a little bit more? This next couple of minutes, I'd like you to take that breathing, that mindful breath, and take it to the areas of your body that you feel that are holding you back from relaxing right now. Sometimes it's the lower back muscles that feel like they're gripping up and away from the floor. Can you take that mindful breath and really bring all that fresh air into the lower back? Almost like you're trying to touch the lower back against the floor. Maybe it's the area between your shoulder blades that need the attention. You're using that inhale like a flashlight, shining light on where your body is holding back. And on the exhale, let yourself melt. Maybe it's the hip, maybe it's arthritis, maybe it's even a sensitive face. Using this last minute here of time, finding areas that are holding you back, really still out, using the breath to bring attention and relaxation. On this last minute of our time together. You're going to be leaving, doing your own quiet time as we shut off. But on this last cue here, what I'd like you to practice as we move into our personal realms is to now turn your mind focus away from the interim and just to listening to the sounds of the room and spaces around you. Maybe you hear the hum of the air conditioner, fan. Maybe you hear kids, dogs. Just really listening to the sounds around you. And then finding one that feels really sort of boring. Something boring that you can focus your mind on. Some of you can make that sound your own breathing. Just listen to the inhale and you listen to that exhale. Such precious time this is to really, really, really lay back, right? Just let go. Okay, staying for a good long time, maybe 10, 15, even 20 minutes will be so nourishing to your body, to your mind, and to your spirit. May this be a benefit to you as always. I'll see you next time.